Ho 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 and welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be playing MonoBlack Airship. So this deck is built fully around Phoenix Fleet Airship. It's a 4-mana vehicle that is a 4/4 flyer. At the beginning of your end step, if you sacrifice a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of this vehicle. We have plenty of ways to sacrifice on this deck. We've got Flare of Malice, we've got Sephiroth, we've got a bunch of fetch lands, we've got Phyrexian Tower. We've got ways to make treasures, so plenty of ways to sacrifice, should almost never be an issue. And as long as you control 8 or more permanents named Phoenix Fleet Airship, this vehicle is an artifact creature. So, even though this is a 4-mana card, we can get it out as early as turn 2. The way we do that is with Shambling Ghast and Phyrexian Tower. So Shambling Ghast, when it dies, you can create a treasure token. And Phyrexian Tower lets you sacrifice a creature to add black. So what we do is we play something like Swamp turn 1, Shambling Ghast. Turn 2, we use Phyrexian Tower, sacrifice the Shambling Ghast for 2 mana, make a treasure, that's 3 mana, and use the Swamp from turn 1, that's 4 mana. We go ahead and cast the Phoenix Fleet Airship, turn 2, and then on turn 2, it'll trigger as well, because we sacrificed actually a couple things there. And so turn 2, we'll have 2 Phoenix Fleet Airship. Turn 3, we'll have 4, and on turn 4, it'll trigger and we'll have the full 8. Aside from that, we've got another combo in the deck, which is the Warren Soultrader combo deck. So with this, you pay a life, sacrifice a creature, create a treasure token. That works really well with Gravecrawler, which you can cast from the graveyard. So you sacrifice Gravecrawler, make a treasure, use the treasure, cast Gravecrawler from grave, because Warren Soultrader is a zombie. And then you pair that with something like Marionette Apprentice to make your opponent lose a bunch of life, or Sephiroth to actually go for an infinite. Aside from that, we're just playing some hate in the board. So we've got Cling to Dust for graveyard hate, Thoughtseize for hand hate. Orcish Bowmasters is just a fair mid-range card. It also works pretty well with the sacrifice outlets because it serves as 2 creatures for Marionette Apprentice, 2 creatures for Phyrexian Tower, 2 creatures for Warren Soultrader. It's easy to sacrifice to Sephiroth, so on and so forth. We're playing Flare of Malice to hate on creatures. We're playing 1 Culling Ritual, which destroys each non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less, and you add black or green for each permanent destroyed this way. This is for things like Affinity or Boros Energy. And again, we can cast it super early with the Shambling Ghast plan. And it is our only green card in the deck, so we have just a light splash using Underground Mortuary and Overgrown Tomb. And last card in the deck is Overlord of the Balemurks. 5 mana, but you can impend it for 2, and whenever this permanent enters or attacks, mill 4 cards, then you can return a non-avatar creature card or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. So this will load up your graveyard for things like Gravecrawler. It'll get you back Shambling Ghast, Orcish Bowmasters, Warren Soultrader, something like that. And we can actually cast it full mana cost, or 5 mana, on turn 3 using the Shambling Ghast Phyrexian Tower plant. So we just play a couple lands, play Phyrexian Tower, sack the Shambling Ghast, and bada bing, bada boom, just like that. We've got ourselves a turn 3 5/5 that also gets us back something from the grave. And at worst, you get back the Shambling Ghast, which is just fine. Then every attack, you're loading up your graveyard, you're getting back more stuff. It's just a really big threat in the deck. If we could play more of them, we would. And that's pretty much it for the main board. For the lands, it's just fetches, shocks. We do play 4 Phyrexian Tower for the Shambling Ghast combo, and we play Urborg Tomb of Yawgmoth to make the Phyrexian Towers actually be able to tap for black. And we play 1 Witch's Cottage. Since we're mono black, it's really easy to just have this as a 1-of in the deck, and sometimes just put back like an Overlord on top of the deck, or a Warren Soultrader, or an Orcish Bowmasters. Maybe a Sephiroth. Like, there's several things you'd want to put back on top of your library from the graveyard. In the sideboard, we've got Surgical Extraction for combo and graveyard hate. We've got Fatal Push for creatures. We're trying out May for some Ruby Storm hate, Break the Ice, and Shatter Assumption for Eldrazi decks. We've got Balustrade Spy for the Belcher decks. So Belcher doesn't play any lands, so you just play Balustrade Spy, target them, and they mill out their entire library. We're finishing off our 4th Flare of Malice on the side, Ashiok Dreamrender for graveyards and for Titan, and then 2 more Culling Ritual again for things like Affinity and Boros Energy. That's it for the deck tech. Let's hop into some games. Ho 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 and Merry Christmas, cadets. This week, I want you all to comment your favorite black cards to continue growing the art transitions for the video. Let's take a look at those who had commented their favorite blue cards. Taylor Pack's favorite blue card was Tinker. TR Piff's was Murktide and Snapcaster Mage. TNT's Cal's was Cryptic Command. Castform 67 was Delver of Secrets. And AVC MTG was Polymorph. And now they've all been added to the Match 2 transition. If you want your favorite black cards immortalized on the channel, then just comment down below. The last day to comment will be December 13th, where we'll give another color a chance. Merry Christmas, cadets, and let's get back to the video. Alright, we are on the play. We'll keep our 7 here. I actually might just be able to hardcast an Overlord of the Balemurks turn 3. Just lead off on Gravecrawler and say go. Oh, Eldrazi, okay. See a Warren Soultrader, I like that. Just play the Shambling Ghast, attack with Gravecrawler, play a land, say go. Underground Mortuary. Put Orcish Bowmasters in the graveyard for now. Opponent goes ahead and K-commands Gravecrawler. Makes our Warren Soultrader a bit worse, but we can still go for the Overlord of the Balemurks next turn. It'll probably be pretty difficult for them to remove. They scry 1 top. Poke in for 1. Casual Overlord of the Balemurks, turn 3. Actually get back a Bowmasters here. And on to the opponent. Oh, and an island. Interesting. Rebirth Engine. Oh, okay. So this is some kind of way to cheat out Eldrazi. Okay. Attack with the Balemurk here. Get back a... Get back an extra Warren Soultrader. And we'll pass to the opponent. We can double Orcish Bowmasters here during their turn. Okay, during our end step, they find a Null Drifter. Oh, okay. They go for Thought-Knot Seer here. Let's just go ahead and run out both the Bowmasters. Bowmasters 1, ping the opponent. Sacrifice the Orc Army token. Cast another Bowmasters. Ping the opponent. And then in response to their trigger, we'll go ahead and Flare of Malice, sacking one of the Bowmasters. Bye-bye, Thought-Knot Seer. Alright, they take our Cling to Dust, which is interesting. Swing for 7, trigger Balemurk. They're kind of low, we'll take the Orcish Bowmasters. And let's Thought Seize the opponent, see if they've got anything going on. Okay, they've got Devour, Emrakul, Ulamog. I think the only one we gotta super worry about is... any of these are actually probably a problem. I imagine they're the deck that just throws this onto the battlefield with haste. Both are a problem here. Let's just take Ulamog. Yeah, and there's the Through the Breach. Alright, opponent concedes it there. Let's see what we've got in the sideboard. Alright, here let's bring in the 3 Break the Ice, a Shatter Assumption, and a Flare of Malice, cutting Cling to Dust, Phoenix Fleet, Airships, and 1 Warren Soultrader. And as soon as I hit submit, I saw the Culling Ritual, and I wish I would have cut that too. So we'll cut it for game 3 if we go there. Well, we got a breakthrough in the Ice and Thoughtseize. We'll try it. And the opponent's got the Devourer. Okay, Vexing Bauble does stop the Flare of Malice. Let's start with the Underground Mortuary. We'll put the Gravecrawler into grave onto the opponent. Okay, Thundering Falls. Ulamog in the graveyard. Go ahead and hit the Eldrazi Temple with the Break the Ice and onto the opponent. Okay, just mount and go from the opponent. Go ahead and Thought Seize the opponent, see what they're working with. Okay, Through the Breach is the problem card here, so let's get rid of that. Okay, they go ahead and sack their Bauble. We're just going to grab Swamp and play Gravecrawler, Gravecrawler. Try to get in some damage. Okay, opponent just found the island off top, so onto us now. Attack for 4 here. Play a Shambling Ghast and hold back the Orcish Bowmasters. Opponent just played the Ugin, so we'll clap back with a 4 Bowmasters. Bleh. Ooh, Phyrexian Tower means we'll be able to hardcast the Overlord post-combat. Right, attack for 7. Alright, we'll sack Shambling Ghast. And let's go ahead and go for the Balemurk. We didn't flip any non-avatars, so we'll take the Shambling Ghast here. And then let's not play into a board wipe, so we'll just say go. Okay, another Ugin's Lab. Okay, let's move to combat and hope for no K command, I suppose. Ah, they did get the K command. Okay. I don't think there's a point in sacking the guy there, because I think they'll still get the token, so they get to live another turn at least. Attack out here. Okay, opponent down to 6. So let's go for the Phoenix Fleet Airship. And we can recast Gravecrawler from Grave. And then we Phoenix Fleet. Oh, and here comes a Devourer. Okay, we have to think carefully here, because we'd prefer Flare of Malice the Ulamog than the Devourer. The Devourer can block this turn. They'll have to block with all the Eldrazi spawns. Actually, I think because Devourer's out, they're not forced to block with all of them. So let's go ahead and Flare of Malice with a Shambling Ghast. Oh, and you know what? We can actually use the Shambling Ghast to get rid of the Eldrazi spawn. Okay, I think we've got it here. Accrue using the Shambling Ghast. And we'll go ahead and Flare of Malice, sacking the Shambling Ghast, giving one of the Eldrazi spawns -1/-1. And opponent concedes it there. GG, opponent. GG. Okay, let's go for it. Keep. Opponent just plays Mountain Go. We're just going to go Swamp Gravecrawler onto the opponent. Oh, they Lightning Bolt us in the face. Is this just honest to goodness burn? Oh, an Eidolon. Ooh, Eidolon's actually kind of rough for us. It would help if we drew something other than lands. So let's just fetch here. Alright, we gotta take the damage here. Take the servo and attack for 2. Lava Spike. And skewer the critics. Oh, they skewer the critics, the Marionette Apprentice. Okay. We'll take the 2 this time, since we basically have to. Shambling Ghast isn't quite going to do it for us here. I don't think we can play both Gravecrawler and Shambling Ghast without dying, so we'll cast the Shambling Ghast, so that way we can block the Eidolon and kill it at least. I don't think we're even in safe territory to fetch. Oh, there's a Bump in the Night. Yeah, no fetch, because I think we'll just be dead to a fetch. More lands. Okay. Let's just attack with the Gravecrawler here. Oh, my Scornful Striker. Interesting. First strike on that's actually pretty annoying for us. Yeah, we've just drawn nothing but lands this game. Alright, on to the opponent. I think really the only spell we can cast that wouldn't make us lose life is Overlord of the Balemurks. Okay, opponent attacks here with May. I think we just have to chump, unfortunately. Attack with the Gravecrawler. Okay, they block with the Eidolon. Okay, so now we can actually cast out part of our deck here. No attacks from the opponent. So let's attack with everything here. Okay, opponent down to 3. Okay, we're going to sack the Shambling Ghast to be able to cast Warren Soultrader here. This will also allow us to cast out both of our Gravecrawlers. To the opponent. Okay, they attack with May. We are basically forced to block. This does worry me that the opponent will be able to, like, cast 2 burn spells now, which I think is what they've been unable to do because of the May and the Eidolon. It's either that or we take it and they just do the same thing anyways. Yep, there's Lightning Bolt. And Skewer the Critics. Okay, opponent got there. I mean, we drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands. Okay, let's see what we've got in sideboard. Okay, well, Thoughtseize is famously bad in this matchup, so let's cut 4 Thoughtseize and a Phoenix Fleet Airship, bring in Fatal Pushes, Flare Malice, and 1 May of our own. Okay, I can work with this hand. Whoops, accidentally played the wrong land there. Cast Marionette Apprentice. Lightning Bolt's Marionette Apprentice, which is interesting here. Oh, looks like opponent's on a 1-lander here. Go ahead and attack with the servo. Lay out a Warren Soultrader and onto the opponent. You know, we're going to test something out. I don't know if they actually get to gain the life from this if I sacrifice the Warren Soultrader, so let's find out. So they're at 14 right now. Okay, and the spell fizzles, so they don't gain the life. Oh, and Dothy, okay. Oh, and I think I was actually supposed to sack this to make a treasure. Okay, well, let's cast Gravecrawler. We'll sacrifice it to cast the Flare of Malice. And then we'll go for the Overlord. Okay, let's just take Bowmasters here in case they're a Necromentia deck. Soul Spike just tells me, makes it feel like Necromentia. Back for 1 and then just pass to the opponent. Opponent goes for Sleeper Agent. And Bump in the Night. So Sleeper Agent, whenever it enters, target opponent gains control of it. At the beginning of your upkeep, this creature deals 2 damage to you. Alright, so we'll attack for 4. Play the Phoenix Fleet Airship here, because we can at least crew it and it'll be more damage than what I think the Orcish Bowmasters will be able to do. And opponent concedes it there. Let's go to game 3. So opponent might be more creature focused than we initially thought, so we'll bring in the 2 Culling Ritual and cut 2 more Phoenix Fleet Airships. Not the most amazing hand, but we'll keep. Oh, opponent's got, is that 2 Chancellor of the Drosses? Oh my goodness. Okay, opponent gets to start off with a free 14 to 26 advantage. And they get the turn 1 Sleeper Agent on us, which is going to be dealing us at least 6 damage. Oh no, you know what? We can sacrifice it turn 1 with the Phyrexian Tower. So we'll have to take the first 2 damage off of it. Then we can play Phyrexian Tower. Man, these lands are getting me. I don't feel like we're playing an extremely exorbitant amount of fetches. Or sorry, amount of lands. Yeah, let's just go ahead and sacrifice this and cast out Gravecrawler and Shambling Ghast. And on to the opponent. And I go for May. We'll sacrifice the Gravecrawler to cast the Warren Soultrader onto the opponent. Fortunately, this May having first strike is always a problem for our Shambling Ghast. Okay, they abrade the Warren Soultrader. Gets to attack in for 2 here. Alright, here we get to go for some pretty cool lines. So let's start with Gravecrawler. And we'll sacrifice Shambling Ghast, giving the May -1/-1. And we'll go ahead and flash in the Orcish Bowmasters, deal the last damage to May. And then we'll go ahead and fetch and play another Gravecrawler. On to the opponent now. You know 2 of the cards in their hand are basically uncastable. Okay, they Lava Spike us. Sleeper Agent on us. And I think if we get rid of the creature, it won't even deal damage to us. Let's see if that's true. No, we still take the damage. Dang. Alright, it says the Sleeper Agent deals 2 damage to you. So I was hoping we'd get around it by sacrificing it. Alright, let's attack for 6. Just play Gravecrawler, pass to the opponent. If they've got a couple of burn spells here, we're just dead anyways. Okay, Eidolon's not the biggest problem. Attack with the Gravecrawlers. Oh, they actually trade with the Eidolon here. Let's just get our Gravecrawler back. Alright, does opponent have it? Oh, there's Bolt Wave. Alright, let's see if they're just leading us along and they have a Bolt. Okay, we get there. GG, opponent. GG. That one was a close one. A little slow, but we'll keep. Okay, the opponent mulliganed down to 4 cards, so this Thoughtseize is about to feel really bad for them. Oh, and it's energy. Okay. So all they have in hand is Elegant Parlor, Arid Mace, and Galvanic Discharge, and they play the Elegant Parlor. And they keep on top. Okay, we'll actually keep this Urborg on top, and we'll play out a Gravecrawler here. On a Marsh Flats. Interesting. That must have been their draw last turn, I suppose. Because, yeah, they're going for a Voice of Victory now. Go ahead and Impending Overlord here. We hit a Gravecrawler. I guess we'll take it. Slightly better in the hand than in the grave. You know what? We'll actually just go ahead and cast it to go ahead and do the Flare of Malice. Back for 2 here. And whatever the opponent plays is just top deck, so that Elegant Parlor is the top deck there. Cast Gravecrawler from grave. Just attack for 2 here. Opponent just plays land go, so we'll go ahead and Orcish Bowmasters here. And eventually opponent's going to get some action that's going to make it difficult for us. Okay, they go ahead and Galvanic Discharge the Orcish Bowmasters. Alright, let's go ahead and play out both of our Shambling Ghasts. So an opponent goes ahead and the Ravens charms the Overlord of the Balemurk. So they are actually down to 0 cards in hand now. Ooh, and just land. Yeah, don't blame opponent for conceding that one. Ugh, that was rough for them. Let's see what we've got in the sideboard. Alright, here we're going to bring in 3 Fatal Push, 2 Culling Ritual, and a Surgical Extraction. And cut the 4 Thoughtseize and a Warren Soultrader. Alright, we'll keep our kind of questionable 7 here. Drawn to a removal spell plus Shambling Ghast. Oh, an opponent leads off with Goblin Bombardment. Let's Impending an Overlord. Alright, our only hit's a Warren Soultrader, so we'll take it. Just swing for 1 here. There's a Voice of Victory from the opponent. I wish I would have played the Phyrexian Tower last turn now. Oh, you know, it's still not bad here, but let's actually hold off for a turn. Yeah, here, let's just cast... Yeah, let's cast an Overlord of the Balemurk. Turn 3 Balemurk's not too bad. Alright, we'll grab Shambling Ghast back here, because we can get the Gravecrawler out of the grave. And we'll just pass to the opponent. I just realized opponent's missing land drops again, too. Wonder if they're on a lower number of lands then. Okay, we see a God of Souls. They attack with Voice of Victory. They get some energy. And they go ahead and Galvanic Discharge onto the Overlord to kill it. They sacrifice the tokens, throw them at us. Could let them play into everything for another turn. I think let's just go ahead and Ritual here. Actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and Culling Ritual, so they'll probably sack both of their creatures here. Kinda wish I would have just done it a turn earlier now. And then we'll use the 1 mana to cast Shambling Ghast onto the opponent. Okay, on us, we can just run out Warren Soultrader and some Gravecrawlers. Just go ahead and attack first, though. I messed up. I forgot Phyrexian Tower's legendary. Alright, so we won't be playing both Gravecrawlers, but we can still play the one from Graveyard. And then Gravecrawler, and then onto the opponent. We're going to Celestial Purge the Soultrader. Now this Overlord's going to be a problem for them next turn. Season Pyro for the opponent. Discards a Ragavan and Season Pyro. Okay, we just kind of keep drawing lands here. Let's attack with both of our creatures here. Pretty good blocks from the opponent. Oh yeah, we'll just make the treasure token then. Play the Gravecrawler from our hand. Then allows us to cast the Gravecrawler from our graveyard. And then on to the opponent. I feel like they've got a Galvanic Discharge, so I'll just let the Season Pyro through. Okay, in their instep, let's grab a Witch's Cottage here. And let's get back the Overlord of the Balemurks. Let's go ahead and attack out, trigger Overlord. Get back a Warren Soultrader. They'll exile the Season Pyro from graveyard. We'll just take it here. Go ahead and cast an Overlord. Alright, we've got 3 Gravecrawlers in grave. We'll get the Shambling Ghast. You know what, let's go ahead and cast Shambling Ghast. And bring back a Gravecrawler. Okay, opponent gets a Flage here. And they point it at the Overlord of the Balemurks. And here we will just sacrifice the Overlord of the Balemurks to kill the opponent's Season Pyro. Ooh, and Sephiroth. Let's go ahead and attack the opponent for 8 here. And I guess we'll just get back a Gravecrawler. Alright, we'll cast Sephiroth. Sacking a Gravecrawler. And then here, unless opponent has anything, I think we should just be able to infinite the opponent. Sacrifice here. And we cast Gravecrawler. Sacrifice Gravecrawler. Cast Gravecrawler from grave using a treasure. Sacrifice the Gravecrawler. Someone's gonna make me click through it. And then let's go ahead and... Oh, opponent's dead. Alright, GG opponent, GG. Okay, we are back on the play. We are going to have to mulligan this hand because it's a one-lander. This we can work with. Let's keep. I think we actually just put back the Shambling Ghast here. Okay, we're going to need the land eventually, so we'll put it on top this time. So we'll just go turn 2 Bowmasters, turn 3 Warren Soultrader, turn 4 Phoenix Fleet Airship. And opponent leads off a Ragavan, so that's going to be pretty good for our Bowmasters here. We'll just play out the swamp, pass to them. We go for the Bowmasters. Hit the Ragavan. Oh, and nothing from the opponent. They're just going to pass it back to us. Trying to figure out whether we should hold off in case it's a failure. I think we just go for it. We'll need to get in the damage eventually. Okay, nothing from the opponent, so we'll go for the Warren Soultrader then. Oh, Shadowy Backstreet. So we're playing against Mardu? Alright, well here's a Flage that's more than likely going to hit our Warren Soultrader here. Yep, bye-bye Warren Soultrader. Go ahead and cast the Phoenix Fleet Airship. Back for 2, onto the opponent. End step, we trigger a Phoenix Fleet. Okay, they go for an Overlord. That means they're going to be able to Flage next turn if they have a land. The thing is, they milled over a bunch of Flages. Alright, they pull back a Ragavan to hand. Opponent plays a Ragavan. Oh, and Detective's Phoenix. Okay, this is sick. That's also frightening. And then they hit a Flare of Malice, but fortunately they can't cast it. Go for the Warren Soultrader. I think here I just want to keep up a bunch of Phoenix Fleet Airships to attack with, so let's go ahead and just sacrifice the Bloodstained Mire. Could grab Witch's Cottage, but I don't exactly want another Warren Soultrader, so we'll just grab Swamp here. Actually, should we be the aggressors? You know what? We're going to try to be the aggressors here. Let's go ahead and crew these Phoenix Fleet Airships. We'll attack for 8. Ugh, Solitude. Okay, they're going to hit one of our Phoenix Fleet Airships. What we'll do is just... You know what? We'd probably prefer the... No, we need ways to trigger them. We got to make a treasure eventually. Second, make a treasure. Just swing for 4. This also gives the opponent enough cards in graveyard now for Flage, which is kind of a pain in the butt. Yep, there's the Flage. Alright, they target the Warren Soultrader, so we'll use the Warren Soultrader to crew the 1 Phoenix Fleet Airship. And then let's actually go ahead and sacrifice the Orc Army token as well to make another treasure. Make sure we've got enough to keep turning on these Phoenix Fleet Airships. Opponent attacks with Ragavan, so we'll block with the Phoenix Fleet Airship. Gravecrawler, you're a turn too late. Let's play the Gravecrawler, sacrificing a treasure token, so that way we can make another Phoenix Fleet Airship. And we'll pass to the opponent here, so that way we can use the Orcish Bowmasters and the Gravecrawler to crew the 2 Phoenix Fleet Airships. Alright, opponent attacks here, so we'll go ahead and crew. And crew. They kill our Bowmasters. We'll go to double block the Flage here. Gotta hope the opponent doesn't have Solitude. It looks like they're maybe tapping for 1. Yeah, there's Solitude. That's rough for us. I get to kill both of our Phoenix Fleet Airships. And now all we've got is a Gravecrawler, and the opponent's got a pretty menacing board. And just Phyrexian Tower. Alright, we'll play the Phyrexian Tower and just say go. Got all the mana in the world, but nothing to do with it. Another Balemurk from the opponent. And they grab a Witch Enchanter with it. They dash a Ragavan, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They've got exactly lethal. So we'll concede it there, and let's see what we've got in the sideboard. Alright, they seem pretty graveyard-centric, so we'll bring in the Surgical Extraction, 2 Ashioks. We'll bring in some Fatal Pushes and Flare of Malices for interaction. We'll take out the Culling Ritual. We saw Ragavan, but it was the only thing we saw with CMC 2 or less, so we'll get rid of Culling Ritual, take out the Thought Seizes because I think it'll hurt us more than help us, and a couple Warren Soultraders. Hand's a little sus. I think we're supposed to mulligan this. And then we're given absolutely no land, so we got a mulligan again. And I guess we'll keep this. Okay, honestly, I'm wondering what happens if we just run with 3 Marionette Apprentice. I wonder if that's going to be good enough for us. Try to aristocrat the opponent out here. Okay, there's the Ragavan. I don't think that's going to be doing them much this match. We'll actually take a Cling to Dust here. Play the Marionette Apprentice, and we'll go ahead and make a servo onto the opponent. On it, Prismatic Endings the token. And Solitude's the Marionette Apprentice. Okay. Opponent might just be behind on lands here then. Yeah, they flip an Overlord of the Balemurks. Flip Marsh Flats. Let's go ahead and run out a Marionette Apprentice here. And the opponent was just on 1 land here. Alright, so let's run out the Servo token, and we've got the Cling to Dust. Actually, I wonder if we're supposed to go ahead and Cling to Dust, just so that way they can't give the Ragavan flying. So you know what, let's go ahead and actually do that. I think if we can do our part to try to keep them off mana, because Ragavan can be mana for them if they make enough treasures. This just kept them from Detectives Phoenixing. Okay, there's Balemurk. So they've got their graveyard set up. And they took a Witch Enchanter here. Interesting. Oh, because it's a land, duh. And they Prismatic Ending the token again. And no attack with Ragavan. Alright, we'll play out Marionette Apprentice. Number 3. Make a servo. Cast the Shambling Ghast. And I think we're fair to be the aggressors here, so we'll attack with the Marionette Apprentice. The opponent will take the block here. Okay. Opponent doesn't cast anything during their turn. We get an Overlord, so we will 100% take that here. We can choose between Marionette Apprentice or Orcish Bowmasters. Call me crazy, I'm going to take the Marionette Apprentice here. Attack for 3. Opponent's down to 10 here. Okay, opponent goes ahead and concedes it there since they can't find land. So let's go into game 3, see what happens. This hand has nothing going for it, so we'll mulligan. Do we keep the risky 1-lander? Yeah, let's try it. We're on the draw. Put back the Warren Soultrader here. Opponent just plays Plains Go. We're going to swamp Shambling Ghast Go. Opponent cycles Oliphant. And grabs a Blood Crypt. Reasonable. And then they go for Impending Overlord. They'll get back Oliphant here. Ooh, bless it. Okay, we drew a land, so let's go ahead and throw down Marionette Apprentice here. Make a servo, and attack for 1. Alright, nothing from the opponent here except a land. Witch's Cottage isn't exactly premier land drop here. Play it anyways and go for a Shambling Ghast. Opponent just cycles the Oliphant. Grabs Basic Mountain this time. Strategic Betrayal into the grave. Alright, opponent's got a full hand of 7 here. Something's got to give. Opponent Prismatic Endings the Marionette Apprentice. Okay. Okay, we draw Sephiroth here. Sephiroth's pretty interesting. We do not have to choose between Sephiroth or Ashiok. I think since we're the aggressors, let's go ahead and Sephiroth. Okay, opponent Celestial purges the Sephiroth. But we will just go ahead and sacrifice probably a Shambling Ghast so we can go ahead and make a treasure token. And we draw an Orcish Bowmasters. We'll take it. Okay, here comes a full-sized Overlord. And they mill a Flage. And they return Oliphant. We only have 1 more turn until the Overlord comes off. Play Gravecrawler here just to sacrifice it to the Flare of Malice to be able to kill the opponent's Overlord. And then we can attack in for 2. And then here, under the threat of Flage, we'll go ahead and go for the Ashiok. And on to the opponent. Oh, Ketramos. First time seeing that this match. And we actually put enough cards in exile for their Ketramos to be turned on, so that's on us. Okay, maybe we're going for the mill plan now. Don't have a solid way of casting the Phoenix Fleet Airship, so let's just cast Gravecrawler and we'll hold up the Orcish Bowmasters here. Ketramos is going to be the perfect thing to help the opponent stabilize here. The opponent mills over Detectives Phoenix, Boggart Trawler, and Overlord. Gets back Boggart Trawler. We're going to go for the Bowmasters here to try to, like, quadruple block and kill the Overlord. I key forgot Gravecrawler can't block. So hopefully they don't have any removal here. Treasure off the Shambling Ghast. A Detectives Phoenix the Ketramos. Triggers, draws them a card. A Cling to Dust the Flare of Malice, which will also draw them a couple cards. Not doing a ton, but let's cast the Phoenix Fleet Airship here. And we won't attack with Gravecrawler just in case they haste anything else in. I think we're probably not killing them through combat damage anytime soon anyways. So an opponent has the Solitude. So now we're not even going to be able to crew here. Yeah, an opponent's just going to stabilize pretty hard here with the lifelink. Yeah, they pop us down to 13. They go up to 16 here. And Witch Enchanter's one of our Phoenix fleets. Yeah, unfortunately we just lose there. GG opponent. Rough mulligans. We're on the draw. We keep our 7. Opponent just plays land go. Ooh, now it's like, do we go for Thoughtseize or do we go for the combo? I think I want to go for the combo here. We cast Shambling Ghast this turn. Oh, an Elegant Parlor. Something tells me this is probably Ruby Storm. Yeah, it is. So we definitely should have Thoughtseize there. Much as I want a Phoenix Fleet Airship here, I think it is better if we go ahead and Thoughtseize them. Even though we have the Flare, I think I'm going to take the Ral here. Just swing for 1. Manamorphose. Pyretic Ritual. An opponent wishes. Then goes for Past in Flames. You know, call me crazy. I think we got to do everything we can to win here. Let's sacrifice the Shambling Ghast. Let's just Cling to Dust the Manamorphose here. Something tells me they really want to draw here. And that gets us a Swamp. Their Past in Flames just gets Pyretic Ritual and Wish, which basically just lets them wish again. Yeah, so they go for the Pyretic Ritual. And then they drew another Ral. I think opponents just got the Wish here, and if they... So yeah, we know they have Valakut Awakening in hand. They've got Wish in Graveyard. It's basically, do they win the flip here? Okay, opponent lost the flip. They've still got 1 mana left. Actually, they've got a second opportunity to try to win it there. Opponent goes for the Grape Shot. Let's see if they win with Ral, because again, if they win with Ral, they probably just win. Alright, do they win it? Oh, they would. They would. Okay, so yeah, we're probably just dead, because they're going to get 8 spells for free. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, let's just see what they do here. They've probably got it. Man, these Storm players, they are some lucky people. Because they had to have just drawn that Ral either off of the Manamorphose or for their draw for turn. Because other than that, we knew everything else that they had. Yeah, and there's Lethal. GG. Alright, here we're going to cut 4 Phoenix Fleet Airship and Warren Soultrader to bring in Fatal Push, May, and Flare of Malice. I think the Phoenix Fleet Airship plan is just going to be too slow against Storm. And yeah, this looks like a perfectly reasonable hand. Let's keep. I think May is going to make them struggle a bit. Alright, we'll just go for Gravecrawler and go. Just an Elegant Parlor from the opponent. You know what? Actually, I think I want to Thoughtseize this turn, see if they've got any type of removal from May. Yeah, opponent's actually got a pretty interesting hand here. We've got Untimely Malfunction, a couple Manamorphoses, a Ritual, a Wish, a Reckless Impulse. I think the thing that's going to kill me here is going to be the Wish. Alright, so we attack for 2. Let's just play May here and pass to the opponent. Hopefully give them a hard time. Okay, they go for Ral, but we got the Fatal Push. Push the Ral. We'll take a couple damage off May, but that's not the end of the world here. Play Shambling Ghast and attack with May. On a top deck's Mountain. And they go for the Impulse. See what they exile. Pyretic Ritual and Wear and Tear. Go ahead and attack in. Let's sacrifice Shambling Ghast. I think we're just going to try to apply some pressure here by playing both Warren Soultrader and a Gravecrawler instead. Card advantage isn't necessarily important here. Speed's a lot more important in this matchup. And what we have on board right now, opponent can only cast one non-creature spell without dying. Okay, opponent just plays tap land, passes it to us. We are going to attack them for a healthy bit here. Attack for 7. You know what, let's go ahead and cast the Overlord just in case. Actually, no, we'll hold on to the Overlord, because if they do find an answer to May, then we can just cast Overlord and get May back. Hey, they Manamorphose. Alright, an opponent concedes it there. Let's see if we can get him in game 3. You know what, let's go ahead and bring in Surgical Extraction and take out the Warren Soultrader. This hand heavily punishes all of their Rals, but kind of weak to Ruby itself. Run the draw, we'll try it. Just land go from the opponent. We're just going to go land Gravecrawler to the opponent. Okay, opponent impulses. And hits Ruby Medallion plus another impulse effect. Okay, here let's just go for Marionette Apprentice. We can hold up 2 Flare of Malices here for any number of Rals that they end up getting. Prospect of them just going off next turn is a bit terrifying though. Opponent Prismatic Endings the Marionette Apprentice. And doesn't go for the Ruby Medallion. Now that is interesting. Okay, let's attack for 3 here then. Guess maybe opponent was worried about us infiniting this turn if we had Warren Soultrader. Yeah, Shambling Ghast. Did nothing from the opponent, they just passed back to us. I'll attack for 4 here. And play Shambling Ghast. Mountain from the opponent. And the opponent goes for a Brotherhood's End. Bye-bye board. Alright, we'll make a couple treasures. Okay, Orcish Bowmasters is something here. We'll pass it to the opponent for now though. Opponent casts a Ral. Alright, in step we'll go for Orcish Bowmasters. Ping the opponent. And let's just go ahead and try to Fatal Push the Ral as well. Opponent attempts to redirect. Let's actually just go ahead and Flare of Malice, make sure they can't flip the Ral. Doesn't mean they'll get to kill the token here. Okay, but Marionette Apprentice isn't a bad top deck. We'll take it. And then we still have the Flare of Malice, worst case scenario. Opponent just passes it back. Okay, we'll take a free peek at their hand, see what they got going. Oh, a bunch of Rituals and Ral. We take the Ral here, easy. Back for 2, get them down to 5. Manamorphose from the opponent. Ooh, and a Reckless Impulse, which hits Manamorphose and Ruby Medallion. Okay, attack out. Okay, opponent's down to 3. We know what they have in hand. I think we should just be able to Overlord, get back the Bowmaster, shoot the opponent, sacrifice the treasure, sacrifice something else. And then the Marionette Apprentice should be able to take care of everything. Okay, opponent gets pinged off the Marionette Apprentices, and then Orcish Bowmaster should pick up the kill here. Okay, and then we got the 4-1 GG opponent, GG. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for the recap. 4-1, pretty solid little record with the deck. Honestly, deck feels pretty powerful. It's got like a good mid-range game going with things like Marionette Apprentice, Orcish Bowmasters, Thoughtseize. You've got the combo with Warren Soultrader and Gravecrawler that people always have to watch out for. The Phoenix Fleet Airship plan's a pretty strong plan. Even just like making a couple copies and then crewing them with things like Orcish Bowmasters, Marionette Apprentice, Gravecrawler, Shambling Ghast. And especially like if you have multiple of them, like Marionette Apprentice is 2 bodies, Orcish Bowmasters is 2 bodies. Gravecrawler just comes back from the grave, and it works really well for just crewing these Phoenix Fleet Airships and getting in a ton of damage. I was happy with the Culling Rituals. Happy with most of the sideboard, honestly. Like, we didn't get to use the Balustrade Spy. It's a very specific matchup that it's for, but it's a one of. And honestly, we can even cast it, again, like as early as turn 2 with Phyrexian Tower and Shambling Ghast. Like, this little combo that makes us some extra mana just lets us play a top curve heavy deck while still being like pretty low to the ground and being able to attack pretty quick. But yeah, great deck. We'll have to play it some more on the channel. But that's going to be it for the wrap up. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, comment if there's any decks that you want to see me play next, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.